Hindus insulted first, now the holy text is burnt. India stands united, says no more Hindu hate. The Adani versus the Hindenburg fight continues. Adani says it's an attack on India. The agency replies, fraud is fraud. The ISF levels massive allegations against Mamata Banerjee, says the TMC is using BJP's name now to instill fear amongst the Muslims. "32 are killed, at least 100 are injured as another terror attack strikes Pakistan, this time in Peshawar." A very good evening. You're with us on Republic and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. The show's called The Burning Question and we are putting our focus today on a story that refuses to die down. In fact, it's a controversy of the Ramcharitmanas, the kind of Hindu hate that you're seeing being reported time and again. This is a controversy, ladies and gentlemen, surrounding the Ramcharitmanas that refuses to die down, like I said, with almost videos, reports coming in every day of netas speaking out of turn. We've also seen videos of the Samajwadi Party supporters literally burning the copies of the Hindu epic that has been penned by the great sage Goswami Tulsidas in the state capital of Lucknow, and also coming in from different parts of Uttar Pradesh. Now, these are videos that show several members of the Akhil Bharatiya OBC Mahasabha, that is backed by the Samajwadi Party, burning copies of the Hindu epic in support of Swami Prasad Maurya. Now, who's this man? He is from the Samajwadi Party. He's created a political storm by making these objectionable comments on Ramcharitmanas. What we know so far is at least 8 people have been booked for burning the copies of the epic in Lucknow. And this SP leader right now is also said to be named in the FIR. But what's very shocking is how soon after the incident, the SP chief Akhilesh Yadav makes SP Maurya a part of a national executive. So he's been promoted instead of being pulled up. So the question we are asking, how long will this Hindu hate continue? Where will it stop? The full story first, and then we debate.
First, it was torn into pieces. Then, it was burned into ashes. The Ramcharitmanas was desecrated. And amongst those booked is Samajwadi Party leader SP Maurya. Confronted by Republic, he remained brazen.
उस घटना में दूर दूर तक कहीं मेरी परछाई भी नहीं गई। हमको तो मीडिया के लोगों के माध्यम से पता लगा कि आज वहां कुछ लोग उस आपत्तिजनक टिप्पणी को निकालने की मांग कर रहे थे, लेकिन मैंने देखा एफआईआर में मेरा भी नाम है, तो झूठी एफआईआर है, इसलिए तो मेरा नाम है।
Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has still made SP Maurya a part of the Samajwadi Party national executive. The hate against Hindus is undeniable. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So you've seen the entire sequence where this man from the Samajwadi Party is also confronted by Republic. But absolutely no answers, because this man believes that he is not accountable and he's already been promoted. So what has this promotion really come for? That's a question we'll ask Kirti Nidhi Pandey, the national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, who's also joining us, along with Jitendra Khurana, president of the Aryavat Mahasabha. Sumitra Goenka is a policy and a political analyst. Surendra Chauhanji, also on our screens, who's an advocate and political analyst. But first to you, Pandey Sahab, why today has, the Samajwadi Party, क्यों Samajwadi Party को इस तरह के व्यक्ति को एक प्रमोशन देना पड़ता है जो रामचरितमानस को लेकर इस तरह के विचार रखता है और इस तरह के अपशब्दों का इस्तेमाल करता है?
देखिए दीप्ति जी, रामचरितमानस पे कोई डिस्प्यूट नहीं और समाजवादी पार्टी ने स्पष्ट किया कि हम किसी ग्रंथ के खिलाफ नहीं, हम रामचरितमानस के खिलाफ नहीं। लेकिन जो सवाल खड़ा हुआ, जो श्लोक आया, ढोल गंवार शूद्र पशु नारी सकल ताड़ना के अधिकारी, इसमें स्पष्ट रूप से जो शूद्र और महिलाओं का अपमान का सवाल खड़ा हो रहा है, इस पंक्ति पे आपत्ति समाजवादी पार्टी ने जताया और ये तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को भी स्पष्ट करना चाहिए कि क्या वो इन पंक्तियों के साथ खड़ा है। जो पंक्ति पे आपत्ति हो रही है तमाम लोग सवाल खड़ा कर रहे हैं। और दूसरी बात कि शूद्र कौन लोग हैं और शूद्र के साथ साथ महिलाओं का भी अपमान, महिलाओं को भी ताड़ना का अधिकारी बताया जा रहा है और जो महिलाएं ताड़ना की अधिकारी बताई गई, उन महिलाओं के साथ उत्तर प्रदेश में क्या हो रहा है? अगर आप एनसीआरबी के आंकड़े देखेंगे तो सबसे ज्यादा अपराध महिलाओं का उत्तर प्रदेश
आप फिर
नंबर 1 है।
पांडे साहब, आप ये मान जाइए ना कि ये पॉलिटिक्स है, ये सिर्फ मंडल वर्सेस कमंडल की राजनीति है। आप इसमें बेकार में रामचरितमानस को घसीट रहे हैं। बात तो सीधी हो जाती है क्योंकि यही बात है। सुरेंद्र चौहान जी, जब आरजेडी के एक मंत्री ने कही थी रामचरितमानस को लेकर, पार्टी ने उनके खिलाफ अभी तक कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की। नीतीश कुमार खामोश रहते हैं। He says I have absolutely no clue. So is this really about Ramcharitmanas? क्योंकि Hindu hate has been used time and again, Sumitra, to settle scores. You know, they've called Hindu names. There have been atrocities against the Hindus. Anything can be said about the Hindus, and political parties, Sumitra, will find a way to skirt themselves around the issue.
Deepti, we have
Sumitra,
other issues concerning the nation. Let's talk about unemployment. Let's talk about price hike.
If you have to talk,
why to give so much of
this issue,
importance
then you
to
should not have
the
joined this
people?
debate.
Acha, that's a good question. Chauhanji, I think Sumitra can't hear us, so we'll just fix her line. But Chauhanji, you raise a good question. You know, let's talk about a lot of other issues. Then why do you have people from the Samajwadi Party, from the Rashtriya Janata Dal? These are the opposition parties. They should be only talking about these issues. तो कहते हैं ना, आग में घी डालने का काम तो ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज खुद कर रही हैं because they want the narrative to be driven around this. चौहान जी,
Talk to their leaders. Talk to their leader. Call them on the show. Because see something, if somebody has spoken something about a Hindu book, Hindu ideology, so they are only speaking their mind. So it can't be treated as a party ideology. So if that is their ideology, they will suffer the consequences in the election.
you know, Chauhan ji, there is this quote, there is this saying to run with the hare and hunt with the hound. Because क्या होता है ना कि बड़े नेता क्या करते हैं? I'm not sure if Sumitra can hear us, but let's also get in Jitendra Khurana, who hasn't spoken. Then we'll go back to Pandey ji and Chauhan ji. जितेंद्र खुराना, ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज ये कहती हैं कि बीजेपी बिना मतलब के इस पूरे मसले को तूल देती हैं क्योंकि आपको एज इन बीजेपी को ये सब सूट करता है, क्योंकि बीजेपी चाहती है कि सारी कॉन्वर्सेशन हिंदुत्व को लेकर, हिंदुइज्म को लेकर रहे और इससे जो बाकी इश्यूज हैं कंट्री में, चाहे नौकरी की बात हो, चाहे इन्फ्लेशन की बात हो, महंगाई जिस तरह बढ़ रही है, उस पर आप बातचीत नहीं करना चाहते। क्या ये बात सही है?
दीप्ति जी, विषय जो है रामचरितमानस का है, पहला विषय वो है, इसका उत्तर मैं नहीं दूंगा। जो अगर ये नौकरी और एम्प्लॉयमेंट पर बात कर रही थी तो डिबेट का टाइटल नौकरी और एम्प्लॉयमेंट होना चाहिए था। डिबेट का टाइटल है रामचरितमानस पे स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य जी के वक्तव्य जो जलाया गया ग्रंथ। मैं ये ग्रंथ यहाँ पे लेकर के बैठा हूँ और मेरा इस पे, मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि मैं बहुत बड़ा शोध करता हूँ, लेकिन कुछ तो मैं अध्ययन करता हूँ, कुछ शोध में करता हूँ। अब यहाँ पांडे जी बैठे हैं, बड़े सम्मानित ब्राह्मण है, समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रवक्ता हैं। मैं इनको कुछ बताना चाहता हूं, बड़ा ध्यान से सुनिएगा मान्यवर। ये सुंदरकांड का जो दोहा है, सुंदरकांड में ये दोहा आता है, दोहा जो संख्या है 58 नंबर संख्या है। ये आप देख लीजिए, मैं श्री रामचरितमानस में से बोल रहा हूं, कहीं अपनी मनगढ़ंत बात नहीं बोल रहा हूं मैं आपको, ये भी बता दूं मैं आपको। जब भगवान राम लंका पर चढ़ाई करते हैं, उससे पहले वो समुद्र की प्रार्थना करते हैं, पूजा करते हैं 3 दिन के लिए कि हमें रास्ता दे दीजिए ताकि हम लंका जा सके। समुद्र 3 दिन तक कोई प्रतिक्रिया नहीं देता, तब भगवान राम गुस्से में धनुष पर तीर चढ़ा लेते हैं कि मैं तुझे सुखा दूंगा। तब समुद्र प्रकट होता है, भगवान राम के पैर पकड़ लेता है, मानव रूप में प्रकट होकर के उनके चरण पकड़ लेता है। भय से भयभीत होते हुए जो वो दोहा बोलता है, मैं वैसे का वैसा बोल रहा हूं मैं आपको। प्रभु भल कीन मोहि सिख दीनी, मर जादा पुनि तुम्हारी कीनी, ढोल गवार शूद्र पशु नारी, सकल ताड़ना के अधिकारी। इसमें 2 पॉइंट है। पहला पॉइंट तो ये है, ये विचार समुद्र का है, ये विचार तुलसीदास जी का नहीं है, ये विचार भगवान राम का भी नहीं है, ये भगवान हमारे किसी अवतार का भी नहीं है। ये जो विचार है उस समय नकारात्मक विलेन छवि में जो समुद्र है, जो भय से कांप रहा है, वो जो खुद कह रहा है कि मैं जड़ चेतन हूं। जड़ चेतन से हम ज्ञान की अपेक्षा नहीं करते। ये उससे पहले के देव में नहीं, सुनिए बात यहाँ पर दोष किसे देंगे आप? मुझे बात यहाँ पर दोष
खुराना जी देखिए समय थोड़ा लिमिटेड है, इसीलिए मैंने आपसे ब्रॉडर क्वेश्चन पूछा कि क्या वाकई में हिंदूज के खिलाफ इस तरह की भाषा का इस्तेमाल करना, हिंदू ग्रंथों के खिलाफ इस तरह की बातें मतलब पब्लिक डोमेन में लाना। और एक मिनट ये तस्वीरें जो इस समय हमारे स्क्रीन पर है, मैं पांडे जी को बताना चाहूंगी कि तमाम उन लोगों की है जो रामचरितमानस की प्रति को जलाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। तो पांडे जी ये कैसे अलाउड होना चाहिए? आप मुझे बताइए ना, अगर कोई होली ग्रंथ है, और देखिए एक मिनट खुराना जी प्लीज आप मुझे सवाल पूछने दीजिए, क्योंकि ये सवाल समाजवादी पार्टी को जवाब देना चाहिए इसका। राष्ट्रीय जनता दल ने भी यही कम किया था कि आप एक कंट्रोवर्सी स्टोक कर देते हैं और आप चाहते हैं कि कॉन्वर्सेशन उस तरह बदल जाए, क्योंकि जिस तरह मैंने कहा मंडल वर्सेस कमंडल की राजनीति बिहार में शुरू हुई है। क्या उसी का आप एक यहाँ पर नमूना उत्तर प्रदेश में भी खेलना चाहते हैं? और यही वजह है कि हिंदू हेट जिसे कहा जाता है ना, हिंदू बैशिंग, ये फैशनेबल हो गया है। पांडे जी आप क्या और किसी रिलीजन के खिलाफ इस तरह के वक्तव्यों का इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है?
देखिए दीप्ति जी, जो बहस आज रामचरितमानस पे और स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य जी पे हो रही है, वो बहस उस वक्त क्यों नहीं हुआ जब उत्तर प्रदेश के पूर्व उप मुख्यमंत्री दिनेश शर्मा जी ने कहा था कि सीता जी तो टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबी हैं? तब ये सवाल क्यों नहीं खड़ा हुआ? जब भगवान हनुमान जी की जाति राजस्थान में उत्तर प्रदेश के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी बता रहे थे, तब ये सवाल क्यों नहीं खड़ा हुआ? और तब इस पर बहस क्यों नहीं कराई गई जब उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के कैबिनेट मंत्री संजय निषाद जी ने भगवान राम के अस्तित्व पर सवाल खड़ा किया? उन्होंने कहा कि भगवान राम
डिबेट हुई थी। पांडे जी मैं आपको बताती हूँ, जो संजय निषाद का आपने नाम लिया सर, उसको लेकर रिपब्लिक ने डिबेट जरूर की थी। आपने वो डिबेट नहीं देखी, आप उस डिबेट का हिस्सा नहीं हुए। लेकिन देखिए सर, सवाल तो उठेंगे ना। और उसके बाद ये प्रमोशन आता है, अखिलेश यादव का प्रमोशन आता है। तो इसलिए चौहान साहब जो बात कहते हैं कि ये तो उनका अपना इंडिविजुअल व्यू है, ये पार्टी का व्यू नहीं है, ये कैसे ठीक होगा?
आप समझिए ना, पूरी बात समझिए। संजय निषाद जी ने क्या कहा? संजय निषाद जी कैबिनेट मंत्री रहते हुए कहे कि कोई खीर खाने से बच्चा नहीं पैदा होता, और भगवान राम श्रृंगी ऋषि के पुत्र।
अरे देखिए, अब ये संजय निषाद पे डिबेट नहीं है ना सर। मुद्दे पर आइए सर, बहुत समय बीत चुका है उस कमेंट को लेकर। और देखिए तभी बीजेपी उस कमेंट को डिफेंड नहीं कर पाई थी, और आज भी आई शुड मेक दिस क्लियर दैट द बीजेपी हैज रिफ्यूज्ड टू बी ऑन द पैनल एंड अ लॉट ऑफ अदर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू दिस पॉलिटिक्स। Sumitra, I hope you can hear me this time around, and we can hear you too. But tell me something, Sumitra, who's guilty of Hindu bashing? You know, there is a pattern that keeps stoking Hindu hate. Do you believe that the ecosystem is doing exactly that right now?
See, I think this is happening because we have some major elections coming in the few days. If you look at the trend which has happened earlier also in the last elections or after 2014 especially, there is a lot of wave which is created just to make sure that, you know, there is a Hindu hate or Hindu phobia which is happening in the country. And this is a mechanism. If you see, certain articles will be written abroad about how minorities are being troubled, or how certain things are there in our scriptures which are insulting to women or other castes. So this kind of caste politics and other things are what people bring in to sideline the development agenda. To be very frank, these things are not going to make any difference, because today's people of today are exposed to various angles of things. They can always, check what is written in what scriptures. They can interpret it in their own way. So they really do not need such kind of people to come and do this. And the timing is really bothering me. The timing is bothering me because, we are, everything is quite peaceful, and there are some small incidences like this which they will trigger, and then, fuel it. Other political parties will join in, and somehow they will kind of misinterpret and gradually start building a narrative.
But
so I think this is a narrative building
you're
game.
giving them a long rope. Sumitra, I think you're giving them a long rope. Because like I said, Chauhanji, there is a pattern. The story actually develops from the state of Bihar that has the Mahagathbandhan in place. There are chinks in the Mahagathbandhan. There are problems there, but they thought, let's get this narrative. And now it's traveled to Uttar Pradesh. And today you have Akhilesh Yadav, who instead of pulling up this man and saying that, listen, because your logic is, sir, that this is his personal comment, the party, should have distanced itself. But that's not what has happened. Instead, Akhilesh Yadav has promoted this man, Chauhanji.
Well,
The people
I will
who are
not
making
comment on
such
that,
comments
whether
from
he has
party
been
should be
promoted or
thrown
he
out,
has
I would
been
say.
whatever. Only thing is, in a secular country like ours, there should not be any kind of place where we are burning the holy books of any of the religion. It should not be there. And if Swami Prasad
So why is
Maurya
that
has
happening?
spoken
Why is
something or he has
Akhilesh
done
Yadav
something,
allowing this?
he
Can you
should
tell me
be-
that, Chauhanji? And I'll ask that question to Pandey also. Because you clearly believe कि ये नहीं होना चाहिए. तो पांडे जी मुझे ये बताइए कि किसी भी religion की इस तरह की जो धार्मिक ग्रंथ है पांडे जी, उसको ऐसे publicly उसका ऐसा इंसल्ट करना कैसे अखिलेश यादव अलाउ कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, कल मैं
दीप्ति जी,
पुराना जी, आप
मैंने कहा
पांडे
कि
जी, that question is for you, sir.
समाजवादी पार्टी किसी ग्रंथ के खिलाफ नहीं. मैंने कहा उन पंक्तियों पे आपत्ति है. और मैं लगातार जो आप तस्वीर दिखा रहे हैं,
सर मुझे ये बताइए ना, अगर आपत्ति नहीं है और आपको लगता है कि ये गलत चीज है, तो अखिलेश यादव को बयान देना चाहिए. अखिलेश यादव को, स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य को पार्टी से हटा देना चाहिए. उल्टा उनको प्रमोशन मिला है.
मैंने कहा जो भगवान राम के अस्तित्व पे सवाल खड़ा किया, जो भगवान राम के अस्तित्व पे सवाल खड़ा कर दिया, जो उनके पिता पे सवाल खड़ा कर दिया, वो उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार में कैबिनेट मंत्री है. उनको प्रमोट किया भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने. उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार ने उनको प्रमोट किया.
अरे बट ये डिबेट बीजेपी को लेकर नहीं है ना सर. समाजवादी पार्टी कहती है आप अलग पार्टी. अखिलेश यादव प्रधानमंत्री बनना चाहते हैं सर. कैसे बनेंगे प्रधानमंत्री अगर इस तरह के हिंदू हेट को बार बार अलाउ किया जाएगा? ऐसे लोगों को प्रमोट किया जाएगा सर. हिंदुओं के खिलाफ बोलना, हिंदुओं की आस्था का अपमान करना, पांडे जी, ये कैसे अलाउड होगा समाजवादी पार्टी में?
देखिए, मैं कह रहा हूं
प्लीज मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है, मुझे
कि राम के अस्तित्व पे सवाल खड़ा करने वाला
जी आती हूँ, 30 सेकंड
उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार का कैबिनेट मंत्री है. कैबिनेट मंत्री है. क्या उसके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई किया उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार ने? एक संत है उत्तर प्रदेश के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी.
अरे सवाल अखिलेश यादव को लेकर आता है, आप बार बार बीजेपी पर सर आ जाते हैं. आप तो समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रवक्ता है ना सर.
बताना पड़ेगा.
आप समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रवक्ता हैं. आपसे सवाल पूछा जाएगा आपकी पार्टी को लेकर.
समाजवाद, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. देखिए सुनिए, एकदम क्लियर कट बात. समाजवादी पार्टी स्पष्ट रूप से कह चुकी है कि हम किसी ग्रंथ के खिलाफ नहीं, हम इसी दोहे के खिलाफ हैं. कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी का उससे पूछता क्या वो शूद्र और महिलाओं के खिलाफ है? क्या वो ताड़ना के शब्द के साथ खड़ा है? मैं उससे सवाल पूछता, उनसे पूछता.
पांडे जी ये सारी बातें छोड़िए, मुझे ये बताइए, आपने खुद रामचरितमानस पढ़ा है सर? क्या आपने रामचरितमानस पढ़ा है?
बिल्कुल पढ़े हैं.
अच्छा, आपने पढ़ा है, तो आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं है कि इस तरह के धार्मिक ग्रंथ की इस तरह तक उस पर इस तरह के सवाल उठते हैं, उसको ऐसे पब्लिकली जलाने की बातें की जाती है? आपको नहीं लगता कि इसमें कोई
समाजवादी पार्टी के नहीं है?
जलाने की
जलाने आने वाले लोग समाजवादी पार्टी के नहीं
अच्छा,
हैं।
आप कहते हैं ये समाजवादी
और मैं
पार्टी के
इसका
लोग नहीं
किसी
हैं,
भी तरीके
तो
से
जितेंद्र
मैं इस बात
खुराना
का
जी,
समर्थन नहीं करता।
समाजवादी पार्टी को
मैं इस
जानबूझकर
बात
इस
का
विवाद में
समर्थन
घसीटा जा रहा है।
करते हैं।
पांडे जी कहते हैं कि ये समाजवादी पार्टी के लोग ही नहीं हैं।
समर्थन नहीं करता।
खुराना जी,
अरे
इस
चलो
देश
मान
के
लिया नहीं है
संपूर्ण देश
तो
में
नहीं है।
किसी भी
जिन
धार्मिक
लोगों
ग्रंथ को जलाए।
जिन लोगों ने जलाई कम से कम उनको रासुका लगा के अंदर करिए, और कम से कम स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य जी ये तो बोल रहे हैं कि इनको हटाएं। ये तो आप भी कह रहे हैं इन दोनों को हटाएं। आपको पता ही नहीं है बोल कौन रहा है। तुलसीदास जी लोग खाली लिखने वाले हैं। वो तो एक ग्रंथ में, एक किताब में, एक कहानी में कोई तो गलत और कोई तो सही होता है। ये सब बातें तो आती हैं। उसमें तो सीताहरण भी हुआ है। कल को आप कहेंगे सीताहरण हटाइए, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है। समुद्र ने बात कही, तुलसीदास ने कहानी लिखी है। आप दोष किसे दे रहे हैं?
पंचायत के चुनाव में
अरे दोष किसे दे रहे हो? नहीं, आप दोष किसे देना चाहते हो? आप मुझे बताइए इसमें गलती किसकी है?
और उत्तर प्रदेश के
पांडे
अंदर
जी,
पंचायत के
ब्राह्मणों,
चुनाव में चीर हरण
गलत
हो रहे
बोलोगे
थे।
तो आपको कई गुना दंड मिलेगा।
महिलाओं
उससे
के
अधिक
साथ अपमान हुआ।
आप गलत कर रहे हैं।
और आप
गलत
सुनिए,
कर रहे हैं। राजनीति मत करिए, पछताएंगे।
सुनिए,
अखिलेश यादव जी कुछ समय पहले शंकराचार्य से माफी मांग के आए थे।
आप लोग
उन्हीं शंकराचार्य जी ने इसका सही अर्थ बता दिया है। कल को अखिलेश यादव जी को फिर माफी मांगनी पड़ेगी।
घटता जाएगा
क्या कर रहे हो आप? ये आप कर रहे हो? आप क्यों हटाए?
लेकिन
ये लाइन दो ठीक है।
जितेंद्र
मैं जो
खुराना
भी
जी
कह रहा हूं,
और
ठीक है।
कीर्ति निधि पांडे जी, एक
आप
सेकंड, मुझे एक सवाल पूछना है। मुझे एक सवाल पूछना है, उसके बाद मैं सुमित्रा और चौहान साहब के पास आऊंगी। पांडे जी, इस तरह की रिपोर्ट्स हैं कि जिन व्यक्तियों के खिलाफ ये एफआईआर हुई है, जिन्होंने कोशिश की रामचरितमानस को आग के हवाले करने की, वो सब स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य के पक्ष में नारे लगा रहे थे। सर, उन्हें कौन भड़का रहा है?
देखिए दीप्ति जी, मैंने कहा कि वो समाजवादी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता नहीं, वो पिछड़ी जाति के संगठन के लोगों, ओबीसी महासभा के लोग,
पिछड़ी जाति को आप बोल रहे हैं उनको।
प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आया, ओबीसी महासभा के लोग थे।
अरे सर, कोई भी हो, आप इसको जस्टिफाई करते हैं क्या? आप मुझे बताइए ना, अगर अखिलेश यादव सर एक ऐसे नेता को प्रमोट करते हैं जिनके सपोर्टर्स इस तरह की हरकत करते हैं, तो संदेश क्या जाएगा कि आपकी पार्टी और अखिलेश यादव उसके समर्थन में है?
राम के अस्तित्व पे सवाल खड़ा करने वाले व्यक्ति को प्रमोट किसने किया? भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने।
अरे वो भी गलत है।
टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबी बताने वाले सीता जी को,
देखिए ये होता है डिबेट को भड़काना।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने।
आप डिबेट को भड़काने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। सुमित्रा लेट मी गेट यू हियर एंड देन चौहान जी।
तो धर्म और
सुमित्रा, you know, is there obviously a larger pattern and a narrative now being attempted? They tried this in Bihar, they are trying this again in Uttar Pradesh.
See, we have to remember that three important states, especially in the Hindi belt, are going for elections right now, and doing these kind of things. And there is a lot of caste politics involved here. So basically, this is a strategy possibly funded and backed by some of the political parties to divide the larger vote base of Hindus or people who are supposed to maybe vote for the BJP or the party which is at the center. So this is something which they are trying to do, because this kind of narrative is not just what happens only in India, but you will see a lot of corresponding material which will gradually come up from abroad also. So it is a pattern. These are the people who have a front end team and a back end team who come together, and they are trying very hard this time to take this approach. And it is very convenient, they will keep on hating these things, but when the election comes, they will visit the temples and they will dress up like Hindus. So it is very sad that somebody is really insulting such a religious script. And most of the times you will see that Hindus are tolerant. Hindus have a lot of tolerance in this country. The Sanatan Dharma is always insulted, and it goes easy, whether it is through paintings
and
or whether
it's fashionable,
it is through any other
Sumitra,
way.
to do that.
Yeah.
We've completely run out of time. We've completely run out of time. But I just want to give the last 10 seconds to Pandey ji of the Samajwadi Party. Pandey ji, will you continue to do this? आप कंटिन्यू करते रहेंगे सपोर्ट करने के लिए स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य को, उन जैसे व्यक्तियों को जो हिंदुओं के खिलाफ बोलते हैं, हिंदुओं के ग्रंथ के खिलाफ बोलते हैं?
देखिए दीप्ति जी, मैंने कहा ना
10 सेकंड है सर बस।
किसी ग्रंथ के खिलाफ समाजवादी पार्टी नहीं है, केवल उस लाइन के खिलाफ है।
अरे वो लाइन भी ठीक है,
और उस लाइन पे केवल आपत्ति है। और
क्यों आपत्ति है? आपको समझ नहीं है उस लाइन की?
आपकी आपत्ति सर किसी भी चीज को लेकर हो, आपत्ति का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि आप किसी धार्मिक ग्रंथ को उठाकर बीच चौराहे पर बोला जाए कि इसको आग लगा दीजिए और ऐसे व्यक्ति को आप प्रमोशन दीजिए। और देखिए सब लोग देख रहे हैं, इट्स बिकम फैशनेबल लाइक सुमित्रा सेड टू गो आउट फॉर Hindu bashing. Sumitra and all gentlemen, thank you so much. We've completely run out of time, but that will be our top focus debate later with Arnab also. As we head into a break right now on the other side, the burning question continues.
Another hit-and-run case has been caught on camera in Bengaluru. Reportedly, a man rammed his black Benz and into a pedestrian and fled from the spot. The victim, around 40 years old, died on the spot and has not yet been identified. 10 students of the Central University of Rajasthan in Ajmer district have been suspended for 2 weeks after they allegedly gathered on the campus to watch the controversial BBC documentary. The Odisha government has announced that a state honour will be accorded to Nabakishore Das, the Health and Family Welfare Minister who died hours after being shot by a policeman. Sources claim that there will be no official entertainment for the next 3 days. That's from the 29th to the 31st of January throughout the state. The decision of the Shiva Sena symbol is likely to be taken by the Election Commission today. Arguments between the Shinde and the Thackeray factions have been going on for 2 days earlier, as well as where the Election Commission had sought a written reply from both the groups. A Dalit man in Karnataka has been tied up and beaten allegedly for stealing coffee. Sources claim that the plantation owner, along with 4 others, got the victim named Manju, tied his hands and feet and thrashed him mercilessly. Indian women scripted history as India became the first ever ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup winners on Sunday. The BRS Parliamentary Party has expressed serious allegations against the central government. Sources claim that the BRS President and the Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has directed its party MPs to expose the centre's anti-people policies. The Grandmaster Anish Giri has won the Tata Steel Masters 2023, playing with a truly dominant form. Anish scored an unbeaten 88.5 over 13 to clinch the first place.
Government called for an all-party meeting this morning ahead of the budget session tomorrow. The customary meeting called by Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi was held in the Parliament building. Vadra Congress skipped the all-party meet in Parliament. Congress leaders claimed the absence was since most senior leaders were in J&K for the Bharat Jodo. Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP has demanded a caste-based economic census of all backward communities in the country. The party, along with BJD, TRS and TMC, also demanded women's reservation bill in the budget session. YSRCP MP Vijay Sai Reddy, who attended the meet, claimed that 50% of the population belongs to backward classes and that there is a growing need for the caste census to take place to find out the status of education, medical facilities and economic status of the population, adding that JDU had backed the demand of YSRCP. Supreme Court to hear petitions challenging the centre's decision to block a BBC documentary on the 2002 Gujarat riots. On Monday next week, a bench headed by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud took note of the submissions of lawyers appearing for journalist N. Ram and lawyer Prashant Kishore seeking urgent listing of separate PILs on the issue. Law Minister Kiran Rijiju hit out at those moving the top court challenging the centre's decision to block BBC documentary of the 2002 Gujarat riots, saying that this is how they waste precious time off the top court, responding on Twitter to news reports that veteran journalist and Ram activist lawyer Prashant Bhushan.
Burning Question, presented by Samsonite, powered by XUV400.
welcome you watching our brand new show, Trending Burning Question, a show where we take up your cause. We are your voice on this show. Tonight, we raise that burning question as to what's really happening in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, when India basically contributes to over $1 billion to a country like Australia, and education happens to be one of the most important source of income for Australia, and Indians play a huge role. Despite that, on a regular basis, Indians are being attacked, but there is absolutely no response, no protection that is given to Indians in Australia. There are a rising number of racist attacks, but despite that, there has been no protection that has been granted. That's the big question that we are raising. From temple attacks to the racist attacks that are taking place on Indians, Australia has witnessed temple desecration, violence, racial targeting in the hands of Khalistani elements, and this must stop. The country, taking huge amount of funds from Indian students, has tremendously failed to provide the security to the students. And the question that we are asking tonight, why is it that the Australian government is completely mum about it? And what exactly is Canada really doing about harboring Khalistani terrorists, giving them citizenship and also allowing the platform to raise their so-called cause? Here's a brief report and then we debate.
The Khalistani terror overseas and in India is not new. The targeted attack on Hindus and temples is not new. The Indians holding the tricolour were viciously assaulted by Khalistani extremists in Melbourne on 29 January. The attack happened when Indians were peacefully opposing the Khalistan referendum organized by terrorist organisation SFJ. Meanwhile, India has raised attack on tricolour with Australian government and sought prompt action. But with the continuous targeted attack on Hindus and their religious places in Australia, the question is, who is giving Khalistanis a free run? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Burning Question, presented by Samsonite, powered by XUV400.
Ladies and gentlemen, there have been multiple attacks that have been carried out by Khalistani elements operating in not just in Australia but several other places like Canada as well as the United Kingdom. Tonight we are being joined by one such person who was part of that march when Khalistani members carried out attacks on innocent students. One such person is joining us on this broadcast. We are withholding his name as well as his identity only because of the fear of threats, and there is absolutely no protection. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a clear reflection of the failure on the part of the Australian government, despite the kind of warnings that have been given by multiple Hindu associations operating in Australia. Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. First, let me take this question with you. A march was carried out and suddenly you were attacked. Tell us what really happened and who were these people?
So actually we were marching towards where the referendum was happening, and we had tricolours with us. We were just opposing the incident they did on 26th in front of Indian consulate with the stepped on Indian Tiranga. And so our oppose was to that and to this fake referendum they are doing. So suddenly when we reached there, and they were behind police. Police was there, but not many. And they started beating us without any reason. We were just only saying, Hindustan Zindabad. And they started beating us with the metal pipes they had in their hands. They were fully prepared. They knew that somebody will come and we will attack them. So this is what happened. Hello?
The other question that I would like to ask you, that we have seen over the last few days, perhaps several weeks, the Khalistani activists, they seem to have been very, very active in cities like Melbourne, in Sydney. A temple was desecrated. What is it that is happening on the ground? Because we believe that there have been multiple Hindu organizations who have flagged this entire issue with the police in Australia, but there seems to be no action that has been taken so far.
Nothing has been happening from police side. I don't know what they are doing. We haven't seen anything on the ground. So I don't know what is happening.
But as far as there is a letter that was written to the Australian police, can you tell us a little bit of details of whether at all, after this attack that has taken place, whether at all the police has come forward, have they been forthcoming in recording your statement or taking any sort of action against those who were responsible for this? I believe that you were also grievously injured.
Yep. I don't know what is police doing. We don't know yet. We'll see. I don't know what comes out from this. And I don't know what to say. Police didn't, they were outnumbered. Police was not in that amount there. They were like hundreds of Khalistani supporters over there, and police were like 4, 5, 6 guys, I think.
Right.
And they just could not stop them. So I've seen in the news that they got 2 of them. One was like 34 years old and another was 39 years old. I don't know what charges they put on them. But yes, swords were used as well. So in one of the videos, somebody told me that there was a guy, he used sword or the dagger they keep with them called kirpan. So they used on one of the kids who were protesting over there.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on the Trending Burning question and sharing with us as to what really has happened. And once again, we're raising this question that now you have the victim who's now openly saying that despite him being attacked, no action was taken by the Australian police. Why is it that they have been silent? And why is it that they have not been able to arrest anyone? On joining us on the Trending Burning question tonight are Manjinder Singh Sirsa of the BJP, Prabloch Singh, he is a human rights activist joining us from Chandigarh, Sansar Singh, President of the Delhi Shiromani Akali Dal, Professor D.K. Giri. Opening up the debate tonight are Manjinder Singh Sirsa. Manjinder Singh Sirsa, interestingly, education is Australia's largest serving export to India, valued at about $4.2 billion. Now, this is the data of October 2022. But having said that, several Indian students, almost 96,000 Indian students are studying in Australia, and it seems that Australian government, the Australian police, do not show that alacrity in arresting the Khalistani rogues who are operating freely in countries like Australia, Canada, the United States.
No, first I would apprise you, I don't see any of them, any of this person who is involved in a Khalistan. I think they are paid people by ISI in the name of Khalistan, and they do not know what's the meaning of Khalistan, why they came over there, what was the reason behind. I think just for a few couple of dollars which was paid by ISI, these are what it looks like. These are, most of those are the students, youngsters. Those have been there for studies. And I think they have been paid to come out there and do this kind of in Melbourne. But I'm very sad to say, and I'm very sorry to say, that those guys who I can see in this video, most of those parents are here in India, and they must also be realizing what their kids are doing there. And this is only happening, why? Because Australian government is not serious on this issue. Neither in last couple of months what happened there, the various graphics was put outside the mandars, but Australian government choose to be mum. And now after this kind of violence and this kind of acts on street, still the Australian government is so silent. So I think one day they will realize that the fire is on the house, then they will realize what mess they have created there in Australia, in Melbourne.
संसार सिंह साहब, आपसे भी ये सवाल करना चाहूंगा कि कहीं ना कहीं जिस तरह से हम लोग देख रहे हैं, लगातार सवाल यही उठ रहे हैं कि खालिस्तानियों को एक तरह से खुली छूट दी गई है, कनाडा में खुली छूट दी गई है, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में भी दी गई है, और साथ ही साथ ये भी देखा जा रहा है कि वहां पे कई सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बनाए जा रहे हैं और इस तरह से इंडियंस के ऊपर लगातार ऐसे हमले होते आ रहे हैं। संसार सिंह साहब, आपसे यह सवाल करना चाहूंगा, आपको लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं भारत सरकार इस पूरे मामले को ठीक तरह से उठा नहीं पाई? क्योंकि आप जिस तरह से देख रहे हैं, एक तरह से मंदिर को अटैक किया गया, स्टूडेंट्स को अटैक किया जा रहा है, और इसके पीछे मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा साहब तो कह रहे हैं कि खुलेआम कह रहे हैं कि आईएसआई के द्वारा पैसे दिए जा रहे हैं और ये खालिस्तानी एलिमेंट्स काम कर रहे हैं, तो इसके पीछे कोई इसके खिलाफ क्यों नहीं बात कर रहा? We'll try and reconnect. Let me take this to Professor T.K. Giri. Professor T.K. Giri, are we really falling short somewhere? Are we really falling short somewhere? Because at the end of the day, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, I'll bring you in a short while from now. Let Professor T.K. Giri also come in. Professor T.K. Giri, let's not forget the contribution that India makes to Australia. I've already read out some of the statistics. I'll do that in the course of the debate. But the fact of the matter is that what will it take for foreign governments to realize the threat that Khalistanis perhaps, indicate time and again, but despite that, there seems to be a complete free run, a platform that has been given to the Khalistanis to operate in countries like this?
Well, I think what Mr. Sirsa said, I tend to agree with him. These are not Khalistanis per se. There's a bunch of mercenaries paid by somebody to unleash this attack on the students. And Australia has a Labour government. It's a progressive government as far as I know. And they have just come to power and they're part of an international progressive alliance. So they will not certainly promote it or they will ignore it once it comes to their notice. And the government of India and your clippings, somehow when they come to know of it, they will take action. But I think it is a sudden attack to me, it looks like, and there are a few mercenaries, really paid mercenaries doing it. So it's not an Australia-wide phenomenon that they're giving a free run to Khalistanis. I would refuse to believe that, although their societies are different and they allow free discussion, free debates and contests to take place. So, but unleashing violence and allowing violence to take place, that is not in their either thinking or in their culture. At least I can talk about that. Racist attack is something else. And this is not a racial attack. This is a political, calculated political, ideological attack. A fight between supporters of Indians and so-called supporters of
Why is it difficult to accept? Why is it difficult to accept that a country like Canada allows a person like Pannu to basically to operate freely? Let's not forget, if the Khalistani referendum that they're talking about, it is only possible because at the end of the day, we are allowing that to actually happen. We are allowing that to happen, and somewhere down the line, the so-called, democratic forces in Canada, they appear to have been completely submissive. They have now given it to the Khalistani elements to even run their own government.
Yes, Canadian politics is more complex than Australia. Canada, as you know, there is a sizable segment of Punjabi population who have sneaky sympathy for Khalistanis. And when you stay abroad, you have all kinds of irrational affinity with your mother country. And Canada is one of the examples of that. So majority of Canadians, mainly Sikhs, have perhaps sympathy for Khalistan. That is why the present Canadian government is pandering to them. So it is their domestic political compulsion which is bearing upon us. So we can protest it, but they are driven by their own
Let me also
quickly
get in Prabloj Singh. Okay, Prabhlod Singh, let's understand one thing, that there has been a clear resurgence of the Khalistanis and their activities in various countries put together. Let's make no mistake of the fact that there is a clear funding that's coming in. This needs to stop. Someone needs to step in. We need to understand that they are no activists. These are Khalistani terrorists who are now operating freely. Countries are giving them that kind of platform. Let's not forget the multiple attacks that have taken place in the state of Punjab. I can list out number of such attacks where there is a clear Khalistani link. But when the National Investigation Agency goes to Canada, they are blocked.
So, Shobhan, thanks for bringing this up. So right now, when these attacks take place on people carrying the tricolor, first of all, I want everybody to know that if you leave these writers alone, these 25-30 people or whatever number that was, if you leave them alone for a few minutes, you will see they'll start fighting among themselves. Okay, so these are people who do not represent any ideology, they do not represent any country, and they certainly don't represent any community. Sikh community, the Indian diaspora abroad, is very wise and is not a part of the group that attacked these people carrying the Tiranga. Another thing I want to highlight here is for the Indian diaspora, those staying abroad in Australia and Canada, whenever they're organizing any event or any protest in which they're carrying the Tiranga, I think they should partner with the Indian consulate abroad in that country, and they should ensure that no harm is caused to the Tiranga. Enough is enough. There has to be some limit to it. We've had enough. We cannot have
I don't understand,
we cannot have our national flag.
Prabhlod Singh, I'm running short of time. No, what I can't understand, Prabhlod Singh, sorry, I'm running out of time, so I want a quick response from you, and then I want to give the last word to Sansar Singh also. Prabhlod Singh, now in this particular matter, there is a timeline. The timeline is this, that multiple letters are written by the Hindu organizations to the Australian police, warning them of attacks that can actually take place. No security is provided, no protection is provided, and it seems that this was done in a deliberate manner. You heard the victim who joined us on this debate, at the beginning of this debate, and he says that I've been attacked, I've sustained serious injuries, and no one has really bothered. No one has even come and taken a statement.
See, what immediately needs to be done, Shravan, is all the writers who were a part of this attack, they should be identified, a list should be prepared, and then between the Indian government and the Australian government, they should decide how to deal with these guys. Set an example so that next time, even if somebody pays them money to do it, they refuse to do it. They think twice before doing it. I think it's time that we need to set an example with such attackers. Because, like I said, we've had enough of it, and it's no more a joke. Nobody has the right to insult the national flag, no matter what the difference is. So, the Australian government,
I'm really
the Australian
running
authorities.
sort of time.
Sure.
प्रबलोत सिंह, I'm really running short of time. संसार सिंह साहब, आपसे एक आखिरी सवाल पूछना चाहूंगा. अगर आप डेटा की बात करें तो 17% लोग वहां पे जो पढ़ने जा रहे हैं वो भारतीय हैं. चाइना के बाद अगर सबसे ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स अगर जा रहे हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में वो इंडियंस हैं. इसके बावजूद कहीं ना कहीं ये देखा जा रहा है कि कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दिया जाता. लगातार उनके ऊपर अटैक्स बढ़ते जा रहे हैं और इसके पीछे एक ही ग्रुप है और वो है खालिस्तानी.
नहीं, खालिस्तानी किसी के पीछे नहीं है, किसी का कुछ नहीं है. सिर्फ ये हुआ है जब कोई एक शांतिपूर्वक वहां वोट हो रही है.
आप कैसे कह सकते हैं कि तो खालिस्तानियों इसके पीछे ने? मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा, संसार सिंह says that there is no खालिस्तानी link. ये हुआ है क्या? ये हुआ है?
नहीं देखिए,
नहीं हुआ नहीं है. अगर कोई अपना हक मांगता है तो उसके ऊपर, अगर कोई आदमी अपना हक मांगता है, या जो राइट है,
इनको पता ये मानने क्या गए हैं,
हुआ नहीं है तो अगर वहां अगर वोटिंग हो रही है, वोटिंग के ऊपर कोई जानबूझ के खलल डाले तो कुदरती है, वो तो होता ही है ऐसा. अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर
Manjinder Singh Sirsa, ये होता ही है, Indians are being attacked, ये होता ही है, and this mentality is basically aiding the Khalistani activities. Manjinder Singh Sirsa, one last word and we end the debate.
सो मैं आपको फिर से दोबारा कह दूं, ना तो ये हमारी सिख कम्युनिटी को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, ना ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया के सिखों को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। कुछ चंद लोग हैं जिनको कुछ डॉलर देकर ISI ने इनको भेजा। आप इनमें से किसी से पूछेंगे, इनको ये भी नहीं पता कि ये किस लिए यहाँ पे आए हैं, इनका क्या पर्पस था। और ये कोई पहली बार नहीं है, हमने अमेरिका में भी देखा है, कनाडा में भी देखा है। और ये लोग हम सिखों को बदनाम कर रहे हैं, दुनिया भर के अंदर हमें मजाक का पात्र बना रहे हैं। हम देशप्रस्त लोग हैं, देश के लिए मरने मिटने वाले लोग हैं, लेकिन इनकी बदलियों के कारण हम दुनिया भर में बदनाम हो रहे हैं। मैं तो इनके माँ बाप से आग्रह करता हूँ, अपने बच्चों को पहचानो और इनको बताओ कि तुम कितना बड़ा पाप कर रहे हो भारत के झंडे के साथ। जो तुम कर रहे हो, ये तुम भारत के अंदर भारत की अस्मा को तुम जो जोड़ने का काम कर रहे हो, इसी भारत में।
Manjinder Singh Sirsa, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry Manjinder Singh Sirsa, to abruptly stop you. We're running really short of time, but thank you very much, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, Prabloch Singh, Sansar Singh and Professor D.K. Kuri for joining us on the brand new edition of the trending burning question.
Burning Question, presented by Samsonite, powered by XUV400.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Olaf Scholz makes a big statement, says Germany will not send fighter jets to Ukraine. Ty Nicholas' brutal murder becomes top focus, protests erupt across the country. Boris claims missile threat by Putin in an extraordinary phone call. Top American Air Force general predicts US and China will go to war in 2025. Former President Donald Trump kickstarts campaign trail, race to 2024 now heats up in the US.
Another hit-and-run case has been caught on camera in Bengaluru. Reportedly, a man rammed his black Benz and into a pedestrian and fled from the spot. The victim, around 40 years old, died on the spot and has not yet been identified. 10 students of the Central University of Rajasthan in Ajmer district have been suspended for 2 weeks after they allegedly gathered on the campus to watch the controversial BBC documentary. The Odisha government has announced that a state honour will be accorded to Nabakishore Das, the Health and Family Welfare Minister who died hours after being shot by a policeman. Sources claim that there will be no official entertainment for the next 3 days. That's from the 29th to the 31st of January throughout the state. The decision of the Shiva Sena symbol is likely to be taken by the Election Commission today. Arguments between the Shinde and the Thackeray factions have been going on for 2 days earlier, as well as where the Election Commission had sought a written reply from both the groups. A Dalit man in Karnataka has been tied up and beaten allegedly for stealing coffee. Sources claim that the plantation owner, along with 4 others, got the victim named Manju, tied his hands and feet and thrashed him mercilessly. Indian women scripted history as India became the first ever ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup winners on Sunday. The BRS Parliamentary Party has expressed serious allegations against the central government. Sources claim that the BRS President and the Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has directed its party MPs to expose the centre's anti-people policies. The Grandmaster Anish Giri has won the Tata Steel Masters 2023, playing with a truly dominant form. Anish scored an unbeaten 88.5